The young lady said something. She said, we've not talked about, solutions, what to do. I bet you weren't listening. Because when I talked about participation, when I talked about how you raise 1,000 naira, a million people, that is the way. You know, one of the things, because this is so serious, I beg, I crave, please, next time I'll give time. What we do, get our responsibilities. We don't do things, we're always looking for another one. Like you rightly said, have we done the democracy we are supposed to do? Now they asked the question, how many of us have an electoral act? How many people raise their hands? Less than 1%. You understand? How do you do the democracy that you don't know what is in the electoral act? You probably have never read the constitution. You don't go out to vote. When they are joining parties, you don't join party. Which democracy are we doing? They say experience is the best teacher, but nobody said you have to experience it to learn from it. Use other people's experience. We've seen how democracy is done in other places. Is stealing ballot paper an African culture? Is corruption an African culture? Is bribing an African culture? Those are not African culture. Those are foreign. Those are things that we have put inside our democracy, and we must ensure that we take them out. So what system are we looking for? Let's first of all engage with the system we have right now, instead of thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. Oh, you know what? We don't need to do it. If we just get another system, it will work. No. Governance is about demand and supply. The people who are voted into office are supposed to supply good governance, and the people who vote them in are supposed to demand for good governance. We don't do it. We also, as citizens, we have failed in this country, because most times we do not engage. We are not active citizens, we are passive citizens. And I used to be a passive citizen. I will tell you that. I grew up not liking Nigeria. I grew up poor. And you know, in Nigeria, when you're poor, you're faceless, you're nameless, you're voiceless. If there's anybody from here that is from Kano, I grew up in Kwana, where the people where the talks came from. As of this, and I grew up to today, the last time we were counting the number of graduates in Kwana, they were not up to 13. And out of that 13, my father had 7. When we come to meet people, they don't allow us to associate. If I'm in Kano, and I tell you that I'm from Kwana, how do you do like this? I call it the Ajaguli of Nigeria. And so I grew up, I said, I must make sure that I have money. When I turned 40, I realized that I turned 40 on December 12, 2013. I'm 51 right now. On my 40th birthday, I realized that I was also the problem of Nigeria. As a child, I used to tell my father, why didn't you keep the Nigeria you had for us? I haven't been able to keep the Nigeria that I got for my children. And so on that my 40th birthday, and how did I become the problem? By my silence. And on my 40th birthday, I said, if God gives me another 40 years, I will devote it to Nigeria. 4 months later, Chibok gets were taken away. And I came and I became an active citizen. That's why I don't call myself an activist, I call myself an active citizen. So if we as citizens do not participate in the process and also make demands, we are not part of governance, we are not going to get anything. So one of the things that we do that we haven't spoken about is religion. We sit down every day. We are praying. Somebody will say to you, I can't do anything. It is God that will fix Nigeria. And then the person in the next breath will say to you, please, I don't have money. Can you give me money? And I'm saying to the person, the God that will fix Nigeria problem, do you think it will not fix your problem? Why are you taking action to ask me? Why are you not just sitting down in your house and saying, God, praying to God? If you sit in your room and pray to God and pray 5 times, fast and be telling God to give you jollof rice, God will not give you jollof rice. Do you know why? Because God has given you the capacity to be able to make jollof rice. And God will not do for us what He has given us the capacity for us to do for ourselves. We have everything to have good governance in Nigeria. We have everything to make our democracy work. We have not participated. We have abdicated our responsibilities. We have allowed a few to participate in it. And in all honesty, they have a right to do what they do. When they buy votes, the person that they bought vote gets into office, and you go and you are praying that God should punish him. How will God punish him when he paid you for the vote? No, God will not punish him. And by the way, they are out praying us. They use billions to pay tithes. They use billions to give sadaqah. They have malams on their payrolls. They have pastors on their payroll. When you are coming with your 1,000 naira, 10,000 naira as tithe, he has paid 1 billion. Who do you think pastor will be praying for? Who do you think Mala will be praying for? Who do you think will be in the front row? Even now when you go to churches, it's the politicians they put in the front row. Now you go to mosque. In Islam, let me tell you, Islam is about knowledge. Nobody cares who you are. The first place of prayers are supposed to be the people that are most learned. If the imam goes down, somebody will go front in and take over the prayer. But what do we have today? We have politicians who, some of them cannot even recite Surah to Fatiha. They are the ones in the front row. So we can't outpray them. We need to engage in the system and ensure it happens. On the issue of foreign interference, there is a proverb in Hausa, say bango ya tsage, katangare ke samu gurin shiga. It is when the wall cracks that the lizards will enter. If we take ownership of our political system, if we are not waiting, INEC gets foreign grants. You can't get foreign grants and have a voice. You understand? And I don't have issue with anybody who takes for grants or whatever. That's not the case. But if people are pouring money into your election, they will interfere in your election. Then stop it. We have the resources to be able to do anything we want to do. So why don't we do that? We also as citizens, we can stop it. We sit down. One of the things I tell people, I see people tell me, I shall leave it. You know, this Nigeria. I say to them, I will rather they defeat me than for me to defeat myself. Failure, you understand? When you fail, falling down, they say it's not, falling down, it's not the end of, that's not failure. Staying down is where the failure is. If I run for election and I lose, so be it. But I will know that the process that I wanted to bring me must be excellent for me to be called excellency in the words of Mr. Peter Obi. And so the thing is that we are afraid. We've allowed them to cage us, to put us in a place where we feel, oh, we can't do it. What if? What if what? We will dare the what if. So my sister, my brothers, we have to participate. We have to ensure we are in there doing it. That's the most important thing. And we should not be afraid of failure. I tell people, our politicians are always working. They work more than we do. We go home and sleep, they don't sleep. We go home, we are doing this, they don't. They are entering here, they are entering there, they are forming alliances. What do? We end up every time we are fighting. We are fighting each other. People are taking, grouses. People are taking beef on behalf of politicians. Meanwhile, their children are marrying each other. They go to each other's wedding. They don't invite us to those places. Why are we fighting on their behalf? They work. And I say something. God is a just God. The person that puts in the work, we get the results. And the one that does not put in the work, if you like, pray from now till thy kingdom come. They say faith without works is what? Dead. Thank you.
I think that sums it all up. Wow. Out of courtesy, I would round up with a whole short word.